Last month, I started a brand new challenge for myself and for future me to set out to do the things that I've always wanted to do, but I've always held myself back from doing. I had the chance to change my life in 6 months, and I'm shooting my shot. I'm going for it. I'm taking the chance to change now to have a better future for myself and be a better me in the next 6 months. My goals that I set out to accomplish in 6 months is become a full-time indie author by 2026, mental health awareness, and physical health check. A fun goal of trying to become intermediate level in Thai language, a sociable goal of making more friends, especially in the writer and the Authortube communities, and a business goal of becoming an entrepreneur, achieving my goal of having an editorship business for writers. So it's been 1 month since I started this challenge, and it has been an uphill battle to get to this checkpoint. But I want to go over how I did in this video and showcase to you my fails, my wins, and what happened in between. If you're more interested in certain goals than others, I'll put a timestamp below for you guys. I do hope you watch the entire thing though. I'm happy to say I completed 4 of the 6 goals. 4 of the 6. So I did fail 2 goals, but I passed 4. I'll take it. Remember, this is a 6-month challenge. It's not a marathon. It is not necessarily a sprint. It's definitely not a walk, but it's somewhere in between, and different days I have different progress than others. And so I'm learning as I go here what I do really well and what I don't, where I have opportunities to fine-tune my approach to my goals, and where I have opportunities to build momentum. And so across these last 4 weeks, I've learned a lot about myself. I know a few things that I want to change for my approach to my goals for next month, for July. My first goal for June was to write 15,000 words, which is essentially about 500 words a day. This was so difficult, guys. I went into this challenge with no habit of writing, feeling like I was having these dry slumps where nothing was occurring and I couldn't force anything out. And so it was hard to try to write every single day. I actually learned from this experience that I'm not the type of writer to write every day. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be a habit I have. I just can't do it. I am more of a mood writer. And so I can sit down, butt to chair, hands to keyboard, and I can literally, if I'm in the mood, write for hours at a time. I'm talking like 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours straight, not giving up. It's almost manic. It's kind of scary, but it's also exhilarating at the same time. And I found this out by trying to write every day, that some days I didn't do anything. I got 0 word count. Other days, I wanted to write all day. I started leaning into that feeling more often and less in terms of expecting myself to perform every day. I started to feel better about what I was doing. I started to feel better about my writing. I felt like my ideas came to me faster. It was almost like the ideas needed to flow out of me onto paper when I gave myself to the mood versus forcing myself to try to write. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what to tell you other than that is just how I write. Comment below if you guys are similar in your experience with writing. If you're more of a mood writer than a daily habit type of person. I think I finally maybe have found my people. So for July, my approach is going to be, instead of trying to build a daily habit of writing, I'm going to goal myself to the exact same word count goal, but I'm going to give myself the freedom to choose the days that I write based on how I feel. So days that I have more energy towards writing, I will give more of my time. Most people that I speak to about writing all encourage me to try to form a daily habit. And while I agree that that's great in practice, it doesn't always work for everyone. So I'm a mood writer, guys. For June, I have actually written 15,575 words total. I did 15,000 words in June just on my outline. The goal was 15,000 words, so I made that by the skin of my teeth. And for July, my goal is going to be 1,000 words a day, but we are now altering this to 1,000 words every writing session. And I want to goal myself to have 30,000 words for July by the end of the month. My second goal was a business goal, and I wanted to become an entrepreneur, having my own business, creating editorial services for other writers, because it's the second passion that I have is, aside from writing, I love to read. I love to read other people's works and books and novels and stories. I feel like I'm very good at offering help and support when it comes to books and novel writing. I'm dabbling in screenplay, and so it's just something I'd like to do full time, longer term, and the only way that I can make that work is to try to make it into a business. Right now, I am offering my services to my friends, and I'm not really putting a cap on anything in terms of if it's just a read or a developmental edit. I'm helping a writer friend right now with his screenplay. I'm helping another online writer friend who is asking for ARC reads because she's going to be debuting within the next 2-3 months. I'm also currently reading a master's dissertation for another writer friend who is looking to graduate very soon. I'm doing this for free right now, but I'd love to do it full time. And so this goal I actually failed because I avoided working on officially doing anything for the business. There's a technical learning curve in terms of technology when it comes to starting a business that I just have no knowledge of. I did have 2 Authortube writers actually reach out and give me resources and links that I can use to get started with this. That is my goal for July, is to build a website, come up with an official business name, and go from there. So I'm not afraid of the learning curve any longer, primarily because being on YouTube for a month now has literally taught me I can learn anything I want if I put my brain to it. And I sit down and I give myself enough patience and enough space and kindness to learn how to do it. My third goal is all about physical health. And this was important to me primarily because I used to be active every single day of my life. I played soccer for probably like 20 years. After that, I did some tennis. I did weightlifting and was really into weightlifting. If I could find a picture, I'll put it here. And I've always had physical activity as a priority. Then when COVID hit, I didn't have the chance to go to the gym because everyone would book out sessions at the gym because you had to book your time frames because they would limit the amount of people in the gym at the same time, and I could never get booked. And everyone was buying gym equipment, and so everything was on backlog for months. So I stopped exercising. It has been 3 years since then, and now my goal of being physically active is starting to be a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Getting back into it at least. And I know that's the hardest part of any physical goal, is to get started and to build the initial consistency. For June, what I really regret and what I really learned about myself is that if I allow myself to just put it off, I won't do it. I overestimated my ability of loving physical activity, and I underestimated the fact that I actually had forgotten how much I hated getting started with physical activity when I started anything new like soccer or weightlifting. I disliked it at first, but that's because it's new and it's uncomfortable being in a new sport or a new physical activity. Learning something new is uncomfortable as well. I forgot that feeling existed when it came to this, and that is what really, I think, impeded me and my ability to get off with this goal for June. For July, my goal is to try to lose at least 3 to 5 pounds, get my diet really well and on track. I actually bought a weightlifting cage. I've always wanted to have a home gym. My hubby is deciding to join me in my weight loss journey in July. He doesn't really need to lose weight, but he hates going to the gym. I love the gym. We are at an impasse. So in that case, we had to get a home gym. The fourth goal is all about mental health awareness. And this goal I passed with flying colors because the way that I like to become mentally aware of how I'm feeling is by taking a break, going outside, touching grass, walking in nature, being outside and hearing the birds chirping. Like, I love all of that. And I find that it's so easy to have stress relief management when you can just do something that you enjoy. So my goal for my mental health in July is just to continue what I'm doing that's already working. Continue stress management by going outside and being amongst nature, as well as just being aware on the daily how I'm feeling. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to force myself to do something that I don't want to do, that I'm just not mentally checked in and invested in. I think I'm well aware enough to know when I feel like this is for me today and when I should come back to it and approach it on a different day with a different mindset, right? And my fifth goal is all about social. The intention of this goal was to become more involved in the writing community amongst the Authortubers and make new friends, make new buddies. And I have been very pleased to say I passed this goal with flying colors. I now have 24 of you as of the recording time of this video, 24 of you subscriber friends who have joined me on my personal journey, and I've joined many others on their journey, a part of the writing community or creative journeys for watercoloring and other sorts of arts. And it's been amazing. The space has been very welcoming. It's very happy here. I love it. I don't want to ever leave. And I'm looking forward to the next few months of continuing to grow in Authortube and make more and more connections with other writers and published authors. And I'm officially happy to say that I have booked my very first book convention meetup, and it is going to be in October of 2025. The way that I found this convention was through Instagram. I found out from the page West Coast Readers. If you want to check it out, I'll put a picture of it here and it's in the description below. Yes, so it should be very fun. I'm super excited. And one of my favorite authors, Elizabeth Helen, she and her sister, both author duos, are going to be attending this event, which is amazing. Their series is the Beast of Briars series. I'd love to continue making new friends. My goal for July is to take active participation in writing sprints, live sprints, in-person meetups. So if you are anywhere in the Seattle area in the state of Washington, let me know. My last goal is a fun goal. So this was the intermediate Thai language ability that I'm trying to goal myself to, currently as a beginner in Thai. This goal is a little more difficult to judge. I say that I passed only because I stayed dedicated to studying over this last month. I do an italki course once a week with my fabulous teacher Millie, and we spend 1 hour studying Thai together and speaking. I spend the rest of the week self-studying. I feel like with language acquisition, it's one of those things where like you don't personally see the growth until like one day you're just like, oh wow, I totally had that conversation, you know? With the Thai language, I'm saying that I'm passed for this last month because I was there with studying, okay? We checked our boxes left and right, and I was present. And so for July, my goal for language is to continue building a daily habit of, if I'm not studying, that I'm at least getting in listening practice. I'm also goaling myself for July to have a in-person conversation with a server at a restaurant and order in Thai language. In just 1 month, I've learned so much about myself already. I've learned that I am a mood writer. I've learned that stress management really does help me reach the rest of my goals. Being outside in nature makes me inherently happy from the inside out. I've learned that language is a slower process than the rest of the goals that I have, and I have to give more time and patience to it. I've also learned that it's really easy to make friends if you put yourself out there first, you become vulnerable first, and you make the effort. That is the baseline of what everyone's expecting. It's just some effort at the end of the day. And effort is exactly what I'll be putting into the month of July as I go towards trying to accomplish these goals and making my dreams come true. My goals for July, to restate, are as follows. For my writing goal, it's going to be 1,000 words for a session and 30,000 words by the end of the month. For my business goal, it's to create a business name, officially register my business, and start a website. For my mental health and my physical health goal, it's to get back into exercising with weightlifting, to be outside every single day and touch grass. And for my fun goal, it's to continue practicing Thai language on a daily level and goal myself to be able to have a conversation and order in Thai language at a restaurant. And for my sociable goal, it's to join live sprints with other writers and be a part of the community even more than I have been so far. These goals are making my life to feel very fulfilled. Every single day that I wake up, I have something that I want to try to accomplish. I have something that I'm working towards. And it's such a great feeling that I hope everyone out there can find something like that for themselves as well. Comment below if you have something like that in your life already, that you're already working towards, that just gives you the motivation to get out of bed every day or to keep going, or something that you have that you're looking forward to that's coming up for you in your life. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe below if you are interested in following me for my journey. I post videos once a week to this channel, potentially 2 a week if I can get to that point. And some of these videos will cover my 6-month challenge, but the rest of my videos cover my actual novel writing process. So if you're interested in seeing what type of novel that I'm working on or writing, go ahead, subscribe. You'll be able to catch up on what I'm doing. It's a fun time here, I promise. If you haven't checked out my very first video on my channel, which was actually my 6-month challenge, I'll drop that below for you guys as well, or link it at the end of the video. If you're joining the 6-month challenge and creating a challenge for yourself, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know so that I could also follow along on your journey and root you on for success. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!